Hello there, first graders. This week we've been talking about amazing animals. The story that I've read you so far this week is actually called Amazing Animals, and it talked about 8 animals and the adaptations that they had on their body that either kept them safe from danger, whether it be a predator or outdoor danger, or how they were able to obtain food. So we talked about how the camel had 2 sets of eyelashes, how the polar bear's fur is hollow. A lot of people don't know that. We talked about how the turtle has a hard shell. Lots of details that you might not think about being a helper to that animal, or maybe you haven't even thought about it before. So paired together with our nonfiction story, I would like to give you a story about amazing animals that is fiction. So 100% fiction. And you can tell by looking at the title, Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type, that this is a made-up story. Now, we know that fiction has 2 categories. It has a fantasy fiction, which means there's no way that could ever happen. And there is a realism fantasy, which is a pretend story that could be real. So just by looking at the title, Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type, I hope that you are thinking, this is a fantasy story. And this is written by Doreen Coronin, pictures by Betsy Lewin, and you can also see that it was a medal winner. And typically, I agree with these medal winners. Like if I see those medals, I will check them out, see if I agree, if I think that they are a fantastic book as well. So here we go. Click, clack, moo, cows that type. There's a typewriter. That was an invention prior to the computer that people would write documents on. So you can see, click, clack, moo, cows that type. Typically, cows aren't much of office folk, but here we go. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type all day long. He hears, click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo. Clickety clack moo. Also onomatopoeias, my friend. At first, what a great transition word. At first, he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. So he's reading a note on the door. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. So cows that are writing messages? It was bad enough. The cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. So you might be wondering, what is a strike? Let's see if you can figure that out after we read the note. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. So going on strike means that they're not going to work. And they're not going to work until their demands are met. They want electric blankets, then they will give milk. If there's no electric blankets, no milk. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. So words that make a sound is called an onomatopoeia. We make this motion in our classroom so that I can be reading and I know that that person knows it's an onomatopoeia. It's pretty cool. I just keep on reading. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. So what? The cows are writing notes now about their friends that they share the barn with, the chickens. cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk. No eggs. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. So if you don't know what the word furious means, or any word when you read a story, you just have to think about what's going on. If you're a farmer and you're trying to run a farm and you have no milk or eggs, you're going to be mad. And mad is another word for furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Do you think they're going to listen? Make a prediction. What is going on? Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. So that means he's neutral. He's not either a cow fan or a hen fan or a Farmer Brown fan. He's going to come in and he's going to try to fix the situation. Sometimes called a mediator. Here we go. Looks like it's late at night. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. So they've struck up a deal. Let's see what happens. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. All right, they've agreed. The next morning, he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack.